Today's gospel is taken from the Sermon on the Mount, and we hear Jesus saying, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law. I have come not to abolish, but to fulfill." And so the readings speak to us about the law. How are we to understand the law? What is the law? And the Jewish people understood it as an immense gift, as an immense grace, because without the law, we don't know. How do I know what's right, what's wrong? I might think to kill if I'm angry, it's okay. And so it's a grace that God has revealed the law. The law is the way. The law is the path. It shows us the path to fulfillment, to happiness, to peace. And so the law is something good. But the Jewish people were not able to fulfill the law, even though they knew the law. And so it's not enough to know the law. St. Paul says, the good that I want to do, I don't do. The bad that I don't want to do is what I do. And so it's not enough to know that I shouldn't judge. It's not enough to know that I shouldn't gossip. It's not enough to know that I shouldn't despise others. And so the law provides information, but it doesn't provide the strength to fulfill it. Which is why it's interesting that Jesus Christ comes along and he presents a picture even more difficult. He says, "You have heard that it was said to your ancestors, 'You shall not kill,' and whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment." One thing is to kill someone. But Jesus goes back to the origin, back to the source. That all comes from having anger in my heart. And he's saying that we'll be liable for judgment if we have anger. Is it possible not to have anger in my heart for the others? Is it possible not to look down on the others? And similarly, you have heard it was said, "You should not commit adultery." But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. And so, Jesus Christ puts in front of us an image of a man, it seems impossible. How is it possible not to look at a woman with lust? But Jesus is putting in front of us the new creature, this new man. But the difference between the old covenant and the new covenant is that with Jesus Christ, he's not just providing information, but he's providing the way. He's providing the strength. He's providing the possibility. He's giving us the grace. He's giving us the help so that it can be fulfilled. And Jesus Christ does fulfill this. It's not just what he spoke, but it's what he lived. And so Jesus Christ lived a life of love. Jesus Christ lived a life without despising the other. Jesus Christ lived a life of love without having lust in his heart. And he shows us what we were created for. He shows us this new reality. And he also goes to the heart. They ask him, what's the most important law? He said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your mind." And the other is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so he puts in front of us this new reality, this new possibility. But as I said, the difference is with Jesus Christ. He fulfilled this word, but he did it for us. And so he gives us his heart. He gives us his spirit. He unites us with him. We're united with him, and so he gives us this possibility. Now with Jesus Christ, it's possible that we can have this same spirit, that we live a life of love, that we're able to fulfill the commandments, not in our strength, but because we've received the grace, because we've received the help. And so it's through the church, it's through the sacraments, that he unites himself to us, and that we share in his spirit, we share in his life. And so we're also able to fulfill this word. so we can be this new creature, so we can live a life fulfilling the commandments. But it depends on us. We hear in the first reading, if you choose, you can keep the commandments. They will save you. If you trust in God, you too shall live. He has set before you fire and water. To whichever you choose, stretch forth your hand. Before man are life and death, good and evil. Whichever he chooses shall be given him. And so the question for each one of us is, what's the desire of my heart? Do I believe that this is true? Do I believe it's possible to love in the way that Jesus Christ is saying? Because if I desire, if I want, if I say that's true, I want to live a life of love, God will give us all the help, all the grace, everything we need, so that this word is fulfilled in us. But in our freedom, we can say, no, I have another idea of what will bring me happiness. I have another idol that I prefer to worship. I don't trust abandoning myself to God. I have another way of living my life. And so, this is the choice that is in front of us. We can choose life or death, good or evil. It's up to us. And so the question for each one of us, do I believe what Jesus Christ is saying is true? Do I believe that he comes to give me this possibility? Do I desire to be able to love in this way? Or do I have another idea, another way, another thought? And so it's in the Eucharist that Jesus Christ is coming to us. It's through the Word, it's through the sacrament that he's giving us his body and his blood, his Spirit. And so he comes to unite himself with us. He comes to dwell inside of us. And so it's for us to believe, to welcome, to receive, to allow him into our lives so that he can give us his strength. He can give us his Spirit. He can give us his heart. He can give us his love. And that this word can also be fulfilled in us. And this is what we're created for. This is what's being revealed to us. This is the path of our happiness. This is the path of our peace. And with the coming of Jesus Christ, he gives us not only the information, but also the power, also the grace, also the help. So let us enter into this Eucharist, believing this word, having faith in this word, that he comes as Savior, he comes as Messiah, revealing to us what we are created for, but again, giving us all the help, all the means necessary to fulfill this word. And so let us pass to the Eucharist, cooperating with him, believing in him, that he will fulfill this word so that this gospel can be fulfilled in our lives.